It's an important case where the Supreme Court has the opportunity to kind of do a course correction on the protection of religious liberty and the proper role of religion in a free civil society, which is what the First Amendment is all about. With the religion clauses, that's what they seek to protect.
Joe Kennedy, a former Marine, was a football coach at Bremerton High School in Washington State. He made a promise to God that he would thank him after each game, a promise he kept for many years without incident until 2015.
It was kind of the covenant and the agreement I had with God. If He allowed me to coach, then, and that was my calling, that I would give Him thanks.
The referee has blown the final whistle, the players have left the field, and after that happens, Coach Kennedy made a commitment to God that once the game is over and he's done coaching, he wanted to pause briefly at the 50-yard line, and he just wanted to give thanks for what they did. He wanted to thank God for the opportunity to coach those young men, and if somebody got hurt, he wanted to pray for them to be healed quickly, whether they were on his team or the other team. And these prayers were 15 to 30 seconds at the most, and they were private and quiet prayers.
Though Coach Joe Kennedy never asked anyone to pray with him, the players began to take notice.
The kids started coming out and, "Coach, what are you doing out there?" And I was like, "Just giving thanks for what you guys did." And they said, "Can we join you?" I was like, "It's a free country, you can do whatever you want to do." And so a few of them came out, and over the first year it was hit and miss. You know, sometimes there'd be 3, sometimes none, to, you know, half the team. But every year it kind of grew and grew, and before long it was the whole entire team.
This is about the game, this is about the students.
Coach Kennedy had been praying after games for nearly 8 years until a phone call to the school principal, ironically to compliment Coach Kennedy and the school on the prayer, raised the principal's concern, and he sent the athletic director to investigate.
The athletic director approached me and said, "Are we clear about the prayer thing?" And I was, "No, I'm not clear about it." And he says, "Well, can't have you praying. We just don't want you to lead the prayer." I was like, "Well, I don't know if I could promise that." And so I was alone. It was an away game, all by myself on the 50. After the game was over, no kids on the field. I took a knee for, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, and just continued on with the team. And they ended up suspending me and then ultimately giving me an evaluation that was really horrible. And right in it says that because of your actions and not complying with the school telling you what to do, do not rehire. So it was a huge blow that every one of my evaluations, I was evaluated so highly for what I do, and I didn't change anything.
After being fired from the school for privately praying on the field after football games, Coach Kennedy filed a lawsuit against the Bremerton School District. But his firing was upheld by a 3-judge panel at the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals, which said that because he prayed in view of students, his prayer could be construed as an establishment of religion. They further argued that he had no First Amendment right to free exercise of religion as a school employee. But Coach Kennedy's attorneys disagreed.
Well, Bremerton School District has no legal basis to make this type of ultimatum on any employee, let alone a football coach, to say you have to choose between your faith and your job. And for the government to come in and say, and this is what the school district did here, they said, you know, Coach, you can talk to your players, you can talk to your fellow coaches, you can talk to the fans, but one thing you can't do is talk to God. That's unconstitutional.
The case is really about the intersection of the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment. And over many, many years, we've sort of gotten to the point in the legal system where the Establishment Clause has grown to the point where it starts to infringe on the Free Exercise Clause. So his case really demonstrates that well, in that the school district was acting, you know, out of fear of potentially violating the Establishment Clause, and what they end up doing is violating his free exercise rights. You know, a government employee doesn't shed their own free exercise rights just by working for the government. So him engaging in a brief personal expression of faith, you know, at work, is in no way a violation of the Establishment Clause. It is an exercise of the free exercise clause.
After many years of court battles, First Liberty Institute, the firm representing Coach Kennedy, has appealed the case to the United States Supreme Court.
They initially declined to hear it, but did something pretty rare where the Supreme Court actually published an opinion as to why they didn't take it. So we sort of used that as a playbook for Coach Kennedy. We went back down to the district court and got some questions of fact clarified at the district court. Went back up to the Ninth Circuit. They ruled against him again, so we appealed to the Supreme Court again, and this time they agreed to hear it. Coach Kennedy's case is now at the United States Supreme Court, and we expect the decision by the end of the term, so June of this year. When the court adheres to the original intent and text of the First Amendment, religious liberty wins. There's a reason it's listed first in the First Amendment, because if you lose that, you really are destined to lose everything else. I mean, if you allow government in the space between man and God and allow government to force someone to violate their own conscience, then there's really no limit on government, what it can do. But people have the right to live according to their beliefs in all aspects of life. And when they do, they tend to make life better for other people.
Throughout this intense battle for religious liberty, Joe Kennedy says he didn't set out to be a crusader for a cause. He just wants to coach football and be able to thank God for it.
I want to be the coach again. I want to be out there with those guys. They're my world. You never know how much they mean to you until you lose something like that. And then it really hits you. It's like losing your kid. It's that you're left with that empty, hollow part of your soul, and it's a horrible feeling.